the way I process reality. The way I process reality and the way it fits in to the way I see the world in my philosophy. If I can look at something and see it a certain way, or should I say, when I look at something and I see it a certain way, I am going to feel and react a certain way. Regardless of what it is or how I see it, my initial processing is going to greatly influence my experience of this event or whatever it is. So, if I'm going through life and I'm thinking racism is overrated, it's overblown, racism isn't really happening on the scale that I've been preached to, when I go out in life, I'm gonna see it differently than somebody who may or may not have that particular idea in their head. If I go someplace and I think white people hate me, whether they do or not, if I think everything is racist, if I think they're out to get me, before I even walk into the room, I put myself at a disadvantage, whether they do or not. And I'm thinking if I apply that to the whole scope of life and my understanding, oh, why you go over there? That's why you going over there? Ain't nothing over there. That might have been an analogy, or just being apprehensive about doing things. Well, I'm not going on that part of the side of town. That's blah, blah, blah. This can happen, blah, blah, blah. If that's not my experience, when I go on that side of town, I'm going to be less apprehensive and more open to the positive of it. Granted, I'm 60 years old, and thanks to my parents and my family, I had significant experience in life at an early age. I wasn't taught any prejudices or that anybody thought to get me that I should fear anything. I was taught how to talk to the grocery. I was taught how to talk to the person pumping your gas. And if I didn't do it right, I got graded on it. My mother said, go up there, you go. You go up there and you do it. You talk to them, you give them the money. You see me do it, well, she didn't say it like that. You didn't, it wasn't, it may or may not have come off like that. But those are the kind of things I was put in. I was not only taught how to go to the store with money in my pocket, buy something, count the change, make sure you get all the change. I was tested. I was sent out there to do that and graded on it and on my performance. So at an early age, I was used to interacting with the world. We traveled, I've seen big cities. So I'm used to being in hotels in larger metropolitan areas. So there was really, I didn't grow up developing any fears or apprehension for things that I didn't experience. Plus I knew I was protected. I believed, you mess with me, my family will get you. Because I wasn't, a fighter, but I could fight. Cole was saying, he was telling me that I used to fight. And I used to be pretty good at it. I don't remember that mentality. I just remember defending myself. And he was like, no, man, you used to be able to go. You used to be able to fight. And then folks started getting bigger than me. And folks started getting bigger than me as we got a little older in teenage years. And I lost that fire or that fervor or that whatever to fight. I just, I was cool. I went soft. I mean, my life wasn't about fighting anymore. It was more intellectual, and I was dealing with a whole different I don't want to say class of people, but a whole different type of people in a whole different environment. So my experience of life also fits in to my philosophy of life, the way I think the universe works. I think that's important. The way I think the universe works fits into my philosophy. There's no contradiction. I believe in the Big Bang. I believe in evolution. I believe that science, I believe the way that science, I believe the picture that science has presented me is valid. I have a trust in it, and it fits into my experience. There's no contradiction. Everything seems to fit. And believe me, I study it every day. I look at, see what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what's going on in the world, how my beliefs fit, what I thought 10 years ago, what I thought 15 years ago, stuff I've written about. I'm constantly scrutinizing and reevaluating things like that. So my belief system fits in with the reality that I see around me. And because I studied, I researched, and because what science tells me how things work, I have an understanding of that, and I keep saying this over and over because I think it's important. I believe I have an understanding of the way things work, even though there's certain things we don't know, and that's another thing. I can say I don't know. I have no problem saying I don't know. But the gaps around that I don't know are filled sufficiently to make me comfortable, to where I feel comfortable, and I feel that I have a good grip on it. So when I'm walking down the street, walking to Whole Foods to see what they got in the way of low sodium cheese, even something as simple as that, I can find deep pleasure. Because I have understanding and a knowledge of the, number one, of the history of Ventura Boulevard, how Ventura Boulevard got here, the famous and non-famous things that happened here, the significance of me being on Ventura Boulevard at that time and moment in this universe. So as I'm walking down here talking on this phone, shooting this video, in the back of my mind, and maybe in the forefront, is where this video is going to go, how far it's going to go, the impact it may or may not have, how it fits into this legacy or whatever I'm building. And I have faith. Cut off again, I don't know why, but I can almost say that I have a faith or a belief that what I'm doing will turn out to be significant in history. I got balls too. I got balls and ego. And I look at what I'm doing, what I'm saying, and what I've seen out there, and I may be ego, but I think I'm right up in there. I'm in there. I'm definitely onto something. That might be gut feeling, that might be faith, but I'm definitely onto something. There's no doubt about it, because it continues to work for me, and I am demonstrating it. All I'm doing in these videos is demonstrating the stuff that I'm trying not to preach about. My beliefs of how this works, how that works, how that's not true, how this is not true. This is what I believe. This is the outcome of my life. I don't believe that's that. You say it is, I don't. I don't believe that exists. You say it does, I don't. This is how I operate based on my philosophy. This is how I make decisions. This is how I determine what's up, what's down, what's right or wrong. And this is what has gotten me in life. I feel damn good. I told you yesterday I felt damn good. I'm back. I'm back. That thing just cut off. I don't know why. I did it the other day too. I wonder if because I'm hitting a button or something. But I don't know. It just cut off. My battery's getting low. I've been out here walking. I've been walking. I'm walking to Whole Foods. I turned the wrong way. I thought Whole Foods was west on Ventura. It's east on Ventura. Because I remember walking by Whole Foods. But that was on another walk, maybe months ago. I can actually picture myself walking by the storefront. And I thought, oh, it's this way. And it wasn't. So I just kept going that way. And being in Southern California, it was another Whole Foods on Sepulveda that I just went to. And I got some, I guess you may call low sodium mozzarella cheese to go on my chickpea, penne, my low sodium marinara sauce, mushrooms, onions, no salt stuff, just no sodium, because my blood pressure is going down. And I wanted to keep going down, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it, and that's my thing. You know, some people, or maybe not obsessed, maybe not be the word, but are into. You know, let's just say into. That's what I'm into right now. And the reward is direct. There's a direct reward for me being, quote unquote, into or obsessed with not taking in any salt. And I mean, to the point where I want 0 mg, not 40 mg, not 5 mg. I want 0 mg. It almost broke my heart. I had to get this cheese, and it was 190 mg. Some of the other ones are like 340. Sausage is like 470. But still, I'm like, maybe if I only use a little bit of it. And I guess that you could call it faith that I'm so into this this blowback from the anti-racists that I believe that I'm triggered by it. I'm triggered to speak up against it will pay dividends, whatever dividends means for me, humanity, whatever. That's a faith, a belief. I don't have any direct evidence, but something in me is pushing me. In my history, when I went with my gut and things had me motivated and focused to do this or that so much, it paid off. 9 out of 10 times it paid off. I say 9 out of 10 because I don't want to say 10 for 10. You know, maybe something didn't pay off, I just forgot about it. So much sure that didn't work. But hey. And also, no matter what I do, no matter what happens, I seem to be able to get something out of it. Even something quote unquote negative, even a loss or a setback, whatever it is, it can either be a learning experience or an emotional experience that may have quote unquote hurt or made me uncomfortable, that I pulled something out of. So it's like pretty much no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay. And I think that might be a base foundation premise or understanding of mine, that I've got myself into a position, I've surveyed the landscape, I think I got all my bases covered to the point where I'm saying, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay. And to be quite frank with you, Jeffrey thinks he's gonna do better than okay. Okay is what something regular people do. Everybody should have that about themselves. No, I take that back. Everybody shouldn't. It wouldn't bother me if everybody had the ego and disposition. Yes, it would, because we all can't be the same. Yes, that's not true. We all can't be the same. We need meek. We need people who care give. We need people who basically don't have the ability to think of something for themselves. They can think by themselves. They can execute by themselves. But there are some people who can't think for themselves, and there's some people who can't recognize their own needs or what they want. They haven't decided who they are, what they want to be yet. We need those kind of people too. We need everything. We need it all. I don't want everybody to be like me. That's why I really don't encourage anybody to do anything. I don't say, and me and my daughter get into it all the time, because when you're talking and you're going at it, it's like you should, just to get the statement out. You don't want to have to say, I think that, even though it would tone down the conversation and make our statements less triggering. It's not the way we talk to each other, but we're learning. And I tell her, when I say, you should do this, that's just my opinion. How a statement like that hits the other person has to be negotiated and determined in that conversation with that person. Communication is a two-way street. Just because you intended it one way, if the recipient didn't take it that way, you both lose. Even though, not lose, but you minimize the capability of conversation, of the communication, the information transfer back and forth. So it's good to recognize that the best you can. I never say which people should do or not do. And I probably shouldn't say never either. But see, you could dissect the language and the way we say things to the point where nothing ever gets said. So, and that's the beauty. I just love it all right now. I'm just feeling really good right now. And after all, I am in Southern California. I just left the Whole Foods in Sherman Oaks, which is close to Encino. And it's a different class of people there. Gorgeous people, just flat out, just gorgeous people. I mean, this is where the money is, Hollywood, and it was Whole Foods. So on a Sunday. So you just see some of the most gorgeous people, different classes of people, different class of people that I'm used to going to the Walmart up in Panorama City. Not to name drop, but sometimes I want the grittiness and quote unquote unsanitized. I wanted to say dirtiness of a Panorama City or a more urban area, and going to the more upper class. I said uppity on purpose. I didn't mean to. I did mean to, but I take it back. Going to the more upper class areas and stores, like that Best Buy I went to. It was just a jumping class. There was more shopping carts. There was like more Best Buy helpers there than people in the store, and the store was crowded. The people in the store were on a different, probably socioeconomic level than I'm used to. It was just a whole different experience. And I could see driving way out there to Burbank, maybe even paying more for the same product just to have that experience. I mean, how many times I don't walk around the store and I couldn't find nobody to ask nobody nothing. This Best Buy, everybody was sharp, dressed. I think it was one of those days where I got up, made a big to-do, put on some clothes, and got to wear my medium-sized clothes and put on some good shoes. And, I got kind of, quote unquote, dressed up, considering I don't dress to go anywhere anymore. So I was into it too. So I knew I was looking good. So I walk in there knowing I'm looking good, which means I'm being attractive. My mentality, my sense of how good I thought I looked or how I felt, definitely translated into me being attractive. And I recognized that on a few of the glances I got. Or just flat out, a girl just flat out just looked up and was almost stunned. You know, I mean, not stunned, but you could see I caught her eye and she kind of, you know, and I just, I played it off. I was like, I just kind of just do that little kind of smooth little, but in a playful way, because I was in a playful mood. I wasn't all cool, I think I was like, I just kept going. And it happened twice. I was like, whoa, okay, Jeffrey. I was like, okay. Yeah. It all translates more and more. It's becoming more and more evident that the way I process life in my experience plays a huge part in how I feel and how I operate and my well-being. Well, I don't know about my well-being and how happy I am, and I can't underemphasize more. I can't overemphasize the fact that all this seems to fit with the way I think the universe works. That means if you ask me why there are trees, I can give you a generalized, if not detailed reason. How plants evolved, oxygen, how oxygen came together. No, I can even go back to how atoms formed to create helium and hydrogen. What science tells me, I understand that. So when I look at a tree, I'm not just seeing a tree. I'm seeing billions of years of evolution. I'm seeing atoms. I'm seeing the Big Bang. I'm seeing how these things process the oxygen that we breathe. I understand that between me and that tree, it's nothing but air, and we may think it's nothing, but I understand that's a medium. We're all in this one big, in the Sun-Earth ecosystem. We're all in this one big ball. Whatever it is, we're all together. There is no separation. And then if you really want to break down to it, there may be no separation between atoms. What's the difference between your skin and air? To us, it's like major. Oh, I can just, I can run my hand through air. That's because of the density of the atoms in your hand won't allow you to, when you clap your hands, they hit each other. They just don't go right through each other. But at the atomic level, atoms are nothing but mostly space. So there are like neutrinos in this universe that just go right through everything. They're so small that they are so small that they go right through the earth and not even interact with any part of it. That's how small they are. Those are see, it all fits for me. It all fits. Anyway, my name is Jeffrey. I already swung y'all twice. I'm gonna do it 3 times today because I'm feeling good. Yeah.